how's it going, everybody? Welcome to our Green Line here. At the back here, so yeah, if you just joined, we're on the Green Line here. We're gonna head over to Morgan, walk around the West Loop here a little bit. Tuning in here.
This is Clark and Lake.
The sun's coming
Transfer
out.
to orange, pink, purple, blue, and brown line trains, City Hall, and the Tolson Center at Clark and Lake.
How's it going, Jason? How's it going, Chris?
This is a Green Line.
How you doing
Clark
there?
and Lake.
Mr. Bones, Ernesto, Ernie, how you doing there? So hey, we're at the Clark and Lake Station. We're on the Green Line here. Loop, Chicago here. Head over to the west side there. I was watching Drew Druzinskis. He's over at Union Park right now. They're Jay Streetwalking girl. She's on one of these trains here. I saw she was riding around the loop there. Diane, how you doing there? Mr. Bones there, how you doing there?
Welcome aboard Green Line Run 9.
Naya, how you doing there? Yeah, I saw you were watching.
Is next.
Oops. I saw you were watching Jay's
Direction
live.
travel.
That's
The
great.
doors open on the right at Clinton.
Yeah, I was checking in on our friends there
Transfer to
because
Metro trains at Clinton.
Drew headed over to Union
Please
Park
keep your
there.
belongings off the seat next to you so others may sit down.
I'm holding my speech to the announcements there, the recorded announcements. But yeah, Drew Druzinskis is over Union Park there, the May Day protester gathering.
Your attention, please. We are standing momentarily waiting for signal clearance. We expect to be moving shortly.
So you just joined, we're on a Green Line. We're going to head over to Morgan. And then I'm going to try to see if the march to Grant Park, they're going to go to Butler Field there for the May Day march that's going on here in Chicago. So I just want to document. We'll check out some of the West Loop. We've gone to the West Loop before. Most people know when I hop on the Green Line here, we'll head over to the West Loop here for our lunchtime walk here. Yeah, if you just tune in. It's actually pretty nice here. It's about 60. Look here. Look at the boarded tree there. Look at that view. Look at the street down the south. It's amazing. Yeah, the sun's trying to come out. Every once in a while the sun peeps out. 65 degrees. It actually feels pretty good. And hey, you're watching there, Ernie? That's good there. Yeah. If you want to watch on TikTok, you can check out Drew Druzinskis, DDD there. He's with the unions, trying to unionize Amazon. So, of course, May Day, organized labor, anniversary of the Haymarket. You know, that's big in Chicago. Oh, look at that! Look at that! There's the trustees building there. There's looking north on the brown line there. There's the CTA workers there. They're working on this major interchange here for the train lines that go around the loop here. Of course, we're on a Green Line here. We're heading west. We'll go through the Clinton stop and we'll go all the way to Morgan. I'll probably get off at Morgan there, and then we'll head over down to Washington Street there. See if we can meet the march going towards Grant Park, and then I'll break off from that and head back to work because I won't be able to stay the whole time. I guess there's supposed to be speeches and stuff over at Butler Field there in Grant Park. I don't know much about it. I was watching Drew's live and trying to get a sense of the size of the crowd, and like all these things, they were supposed to start at noon, but they probably are just getting started now, and it's going to take them a while to get back to the loop. But there's a bunch of people gathered in Union Park. A bunch of people fed me good information about what's going on here. Heather B, how you doing there? Christopher Dotson, thanks for tuning in. We're on a Green Line there. Michael, thanks for being on there. Lamby T, Chris, thanks everybody else. See Dolores. Hey, how you doing there?
This is Clinton.
Yeah, so there's the look. We'll go over the metro tracks here. There you see one of the. Oh, I got to get over the. It's hard to get over the beam there. But here's the Clinton stop again, named after DeWitt Clinton, not Bill Clinton. It's just a coincidence. And yeah, Lamby T, Sharon, Dolores. How's everybody doing? Krista, Michael, Ernie, Naya, Diane, Mr. Bones on tour. Yeah, Lorene, how you doing here? Yay. Yeah, we'll thanks for being on. We'll head over here. We're on the Green Line. We're going to go one more stop. We'll get off at Morgan, and there's a major protest going on in the West Loop, so I just want to document it for like a journalist. Of course, we're gonna probably get crazy comments, you know, and I'm expecting that. I was watching Drew. He's already streaming it on TikTok, so he's covered on TikTok, and I'll cover it on YouTube here. And I'm just gonna walk from the West Loop, go back to. There we're crossing the Kennedy Expressway here. This is the Fulton Market District here, and we'll get off at this next stop here, Morgan. So I'll be able to interact better once we get off the train here.
This is a Green Line train to Harlem and Lake.
So yeah, if you stay on this, you go all the way through Garfield Park, Austin, and then you end up over by Oak Park. If you take this further west here, we'll get off of Morgan here. There's the West Loop. So. Hey, we made it. So hey, here's the Morgan stop on the Green Line. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Chicago here. This is what time we got here, 12:10 in the PM. This is May 1st, 2025. Look at this nice view you get from the Morgan station. There's the Sears Tower. So you see where we're at. We're west of the river, the West Loop, not too far from the Loop. This new housing was built after the pandemic, and a lot of this housing is new. We've been here before, the Morgan stop. See, that's new. This is Morgan Street. We'll probably head down. I'm gonna head down to Washington Street, so we'll get out here and we'll head down the stairs and see if we can find this march. That's why I was watching Drew's live stream, to get a sense that, you know, just like when the DNC protests were going on, people gathered at Union Park. And the irony is that probably some of the same people that were at the DNC protest protesting Kamala Harris will probably be in this protest, which is protesting Trump. It's just amazing. Now let me go ahead. I was blocking the path there. Sorry. People trying to get down here. I got to step to the side. So here we'll, yeah, let's head over to Morgan Street. We'll show you these murals. We filmed these murals before. There's beautiful murals underneath. This is Lake Street, West Loop of Chicago. Unruly Julie Reed, Dark Knight, how you doing there? Dolores Lemon Soda there. Yeah, they some of the Spider-Man movies, they used elevated trains. It was like a computer-generated hybrid between New York and Chicago, because there used to be elevated trains in Midtown Manhattan, but they removed them and replaced them with subways long ago. Of course, you go further up in Harlem, in Spanish Harlem, there's elevated trains. You can go watch Carlito's Way movie and see that. But hey, we're doing good there. Henry Bassard there, thanks for tuning in there. North Korea, yeah, North Korea's watching, trust me. North Korea's watching, Iran's watching, Russia's watching, and the CIA's probably watching too. So, hello everybody, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in and spying on us. Here's Morgan Street. We'll cross Lake here, we'll go under the L tracks here. And there's some wind, it's pretty nice here. Look at this. See, somebody's trying to make a left turn and then somebody couldn't get to the intersection, so they honked. But here's Lake Street. This goes all the way. There's some police over there, probably because there's some protest activity, and that's what I'm just going to see, how large this crowd is here. So what we're going to do is we're going to head to Washington Street and make a right and start heading towards the beginning of the protest. I was watching Drew and other people that are covering it on TikTok. He was at Union Park. They had the baby Trump, and of course he was getting trolled by all the people saying Trump 2028. There were some people saying Obama 2028, which is funny because, of course, we know if Trump wants to run for a third term, which is unconstitutional, what would stop Obama from running from a third term? And you know, I want to see the rationale behind it. I'm sure, you know, I think anybody would realize that's a more close contest there. There's Sterling Bay, of course, the developers here. Thanks for tuning in there. Where am I from? Lorene, where am I from? I'm from Southeast Indiana. And I moved to Chicago in 1999. I've lived here over half my life. And Lorene's been up here and visited me, and I appreciate it. And again, like we talked about before, we'll have to coordinate if you guys are traveling up here. I'm not going to be out of the town some of the time this summer, but we'll coordinate and we'll talk about that. On a more secure channel here. Not the open broadcast, but I appreciate everybody tuning in. This is Randolph Street. You see how Randolph Street's really wide? And this used to be a meatpacking warehouse distribution area for stuff coming off on the railroads, and they would transfer it to trucks. And the trucks used to line up, and there used to be a bunch of, these are converted warehouses converted to housing. Yeah, it's about to start here. We'll head down this way. So they're blocking off traffic here already. How you doing? How you doing, sir? We'll head down to Washington Street here. And there's still traffic moving on Washington Street, so they haven't closed down Washington Street. Like all these things, again, then they're supposed to take a right and go down to Jackson, and then they're supposed to head right straight east through the loop by the Sears Tower, right into Grant Park. Butler Field is a large field just south of Millennium Park, north of Buckingham Fountain, and there's a stage there. Look, there's all the tow trucks. So there's a bunch of tow trucks going down Washington Street. That's very interesting. What are they doing? And here's some people gathered here. So there's some other people on balconies that are probably just going to watch. There's Channel 7 News. So the local media is covering this. If you just joined from Chicago, we're on Morgan Street of Washington. We're going to see if anything's going on here. And again, I'm going to cover this as neutrally as possible, like a journalist. I know will have people chiming in, venting what side they're on, what team they're rooting for. We'll just let the comments fly there. I'm for free speech, even though just don't personally attack my followers, moderators, or me. And see, look, here we're Washington Street is pretty empty right here. Here's Morgan, so it's supposed to go here, make a right. See, there's the Sky Bridge. That's looking back towards the loop here. This is the new Grateful Dead place. This is This is called Garcia's. It's a rock club where they have dinner and you see music there. They got a bunch of music events, and so how you doing? So here we'll head around here, and we'll start heading towards. I want to see if I can get the front of the protest, because to me that's the most interesting shot, because you'll see all the police flanked on either side. We did it for the DNC. I actually walked through the police line and encountered and that was a pro-Palestinian protest against Kamala Harris. And that's why I'm saying we might see some of the same pro-Palestinian protesters in this march protesting Trump. And as I predicted, once we got beyond the election, it doesn't surprise me at all. So here's a bunch of cops coming by on bikes. We'll just kind of document what the lengths the city's going through to keep this peaceful. Of course, people are worried about, this protest attracting people trying to cause chaos and violence, and either way, and it's not just happening here. These are nationwide. May 1st is May Day. Of course, if you know about Labor Day, the rest of the world celebrates May Day, May the 1st, like we celebrate Labor Day in the fall. It's a workers' rights movement started in Chicago with the Haymarket. The socialists took it up, and that's why America had to move their holiday to Labor Day, because they couldn't celebrate a socialist holiday in May. And so it looks like there's a chance of rain. It's been raining off and on all morning. We walked into work in the rain. There's another photojournalist ahead of me. I'm sure there'll be a lot of press here. And so here they got the streets blocked off. There's a woman pushing a baby there. She was looking at me like, what was I doing? What am I doing here? Yeah, how you doing there? John, how you doing there, Michael? Michael, thanks for tuning in here. I hopped the green line and we're heading west on Washington here. We got a lot of wind that came out of nowhere. It wasn't windy when I was downtown. It's like a storm's blowing in all of a sudden, so we might get wet. But I'm heading west towards Union Park on Washington. Hey, we're gonna cross May Street. There's coming soon, the original Pancake House. Original Pancake House is coming soon here. We're at May and Washington, West Loop of Chicago. And we're gonna cross May Street in the West Loop of Chicago on May the 1st, May Day. Happy May Day, Washington. Hey, yeah, see, this is probably gonna be the new Pancake House there. There's a Hyatt House, I didn't know that was there. There, May in Washington. How you doing? May and Washington Street on Happy May Day from Chicago, May the 1st, 2025. I'm so, look, Free Methodist Publishing House. It's on the building there. I'm amazed how fast April flew by. Where does the time go? But it's a good thing I took the train. There would have been no way if I wanted to walk over here, but it took me an hour to get over here. And maybe I should have went all the way to Ashland, but I thought it would be further along by now. But it's 12:20 in the PM. We're heading west towards Union Park. We're going to see if we can encounter the start of this planned march, permitted march. And that's why the police are all here, because they know it's going to happen. Hey, there's Goodwill. There's Goodwill there. Look at that. There's some guy on the roof there. I hear some crowds here. We're going to have a heavy thunderstorm on Saturday. Thanks for the good information there, Sean. Yeah, the right to be a pagan. Happy Beltane. Happy Beltane. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, there goes the police tape. So maybe I gotta cross the street here. They don't want me crossing here. They're making sure that the permanent march doesn't take a detour. So here they're, thank you, how you doing, sir? Here they're putting up the police tape to keep the, see, they want to make sure the protest stays on the planned permitted parade route here. It's always weird walking into these protests this way. Like I did it for the DNC. The DNC, it was overkill. There was like as many police as protesters, and there was a lot of protesters. But this is not as intense. But we'll see how it is once we get up here. It looked like a pretty big crowd at Union Park. I was watching. So if you want to watch on TikTok, watch Dr. Drew's there. That's his handle on TikTok. Drewzinskis. And you might remember him. He's the guy from out by Joliet, out by where Grim Evil lives, and he's big with the unions trying to organize for Amazon, and that's why May Day you'll see a bunch of red shirts in solidarity with the union workers' rights movement. And of course we go back to the Haymarket and all the history here. So here, let's see what this looks like here. So here, welcome to Chicago. Here we are at Elizabeth and Washington Street, the West Loop of Chicago. This is a planned protest May 1st, May Day. It's a workers' rights protest, and it's also protesting the current administration, from what I understand. And we'll see, it's probably a broad coalition of random people with random grievances that are using May the 1st, and this is nationwide. This is nationwide, it's not just in Chicago. I'm sure you'll see it maybe even the city where you're at, that something like this is going on. And so both sides can have rallies. When have Americans ever agreed about anything? But here's the beginning of the Chicago May Day planned march here, starting from Union Park, west loop of Chicago here. And it's all organized here. Here we got Our Lady of Guadalupe's leading the parade there. Yeah, what on earth could they possibly be protesting? There's a drone. There's a drone, so somebody's flying a drone. They're getting drone shots. Here we go. So I'm just going to cover this as neutrally as possible. There's people standing on. So here we go. Here's the other photojournalist here. And I'll just let you listen to the crowd here, okay? Welcome to Chicago, May 1st, 2025. I need to be on that truck. How do I get on that truck? I don't even have to walk. Hey, we got babies. Resistance. The resistance. Yeah. Chicago Jobs with Justice, Solidarity. That's good. Look at all these banners here. Thank you. That's good. Hey. There you got the Streets of San Diego. Look at that. Illinois Drivers Alliance. Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. How you doing? Yeah. Illinois Drivers Alliance. Thanks so much. That's good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's good. Hey, yeah, look at that. SEIU. SEIU. Yeah. Yeah. How you doing? Yeah. No war, but class war. Fight for communism. Wow. Look at that. Look at these free speech. Workers of the world unite. Yeah. Fascism. Yeah. Reject fascism. Yeah. I like your microphone. That's nice. That's good. Yeah, I'm on YouTube. Yeah, I'm on YouTube. I'm Brian Really Chicago. So you got a page? Do you want to promote anything or?
Yeah, Friday morning swim club.
Friday morning swim. That's great. That's good. That's good. That's awesome. Oh, sorry. Hey, you got the butterflies. Yeah, look at this. Top before your hair. Selling candy. Hey, look at Musk. Yeah. Look at that piñata. It's a piñata. That's a piñata. Stand up to corporate greed. Stand up to corporate greed. Look at that. Hey, there's the late great Pope there. No, Chicago has a really strong organized labor movement still, and stronger than other cities, and that's what you're seeing here. So this might be a little larger than most cities, because Chicago always has historically this is where the labor rights movement began in the United States, and you see all these unions came out here in solidarity. This is mainly a union march, but it's also combined with against the current administration here. Am I streaming okay? Yeah. It's pretty large here. We're not even back to Ogden here. So this is we're on Washington Street. We're nearing Ogden. We're nearing Union Park on the west side of the West Loop. They're going to head down Washington to Morgan. They're going to make a right turn south on Morgan and go to Jackson. And then here's what I want to get. The indigenous dancers here. Look at the indigenous dancers here. Wow, look at that. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, look at that, yes. Welcome to Chicago May Day protest here, May 1st, 2025. Thanks for tuning in. Yes. Look at this.
Every day is May Day.
Yeah, every day's May Day. Yes. America, we are you people. Look at that. Stop the oligarchs. How you doing? Look at these wonderful fans. Waukegan's here. How you doing? Thank you. A gathering of the tribes. Yes. This is Washington Street, Chicago May Day protest 2025. Look at that. Families belong together. Then labor abuse. Hey, he's playing the guitar there. Che Guevara. See, whole families are out here. How you doing? Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Yes. yes, yes, yes. Now it's raining. Look at this. Yeah, how you doing? It's good. Hey, look at this. It's raining. It's raining. It's not going to rain on our parade. I see blue skies. I see nothing but blue skies here. Look at that. The red flag. Look at this. Look at this message. Yes. There we go. Now it's raining pretty hard, but that's okay. People came prepared with umbrellas. If you just joined, we're on. See where he's at. Maybe we can catch up with Drew, but I'll wait till this rain stops. Hey, there he is. Yeah, there he is. How you doing? Yes. How you doing? Thanks so much. So that's good though. No, I'm glad you're here covering it. That's what's up there. I saw you.
I mean, it goes back a fair amount. The last go away. I'm glad I busted out my umbrella. Dairy Fire and Boy Scouts, but
I'm not. But hey,
okay.
I saw you were interviewing some people. That's good. You know?
Yeah.
Hey, look at this.
Right when I got here, my friend Richard Rodriguez, he's the policy director for One Fair Wage.
Yeah.
So they're fighting to raise the sub-minimum wage for tipped workers.
That's good.
So he right off the bat, they're up near the front.
Yeah, I probably passed them. Yeah, look at this. So here's Ogden Avenue. These people are gathering out of. We'll just stay right here, maybe. Look at that. Wherever you want to go. But isn't it amazing that I was here for the DNC protest too, and I bet you some of the people that were protesting the Kamala are in this protesting Trump. Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
You know, at least especially the Palestinian pro-Palestinian protesters.
Yeah.
You know,
this is a little more variety, I think, than we saw in terms of
it's a bigger. At least you got the labor unions and you got the coalition. You know.
Well, but I'll tell you what, the police presence here is not nearly as heavy as it was during the DNC.
I know.
Right?
I was saying that too. It was overkill for the DNC. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're protecting the
These are going on in all cities today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's International Workers' Day.
Yeah.
All right.
But this is the biggest one we've seen in a while for May Day.
Yeah.
You know.
That is pretty awesome, man. I found you right as it rained so we could get you a little.
I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Thanks so much.
All right, keep trying to.
The people brought their kids here. They got people in strollers. You know.
It's still raining, yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm not worried about it. I want to get the baby drunk. So here.
Alright, y'all, we're teamed up with Brian Chicago, Illinois. Brian, you can go check out his TikTok.
And this is Drew D. Drzinskis. How do you say your last name correctly?
Drzinskis in the old language.
Drzinskis, yeah. It's what is it, Lithuanian or Lithuanian?
We got some genetic reports on 29% Lithuanian.
Wow.
That is the highest percentage. Right after that, it's Irish. So
yeah,
that's pretty much, you know, can you tell?
Well, I got Irish too. I got Scots Irish.
That beard is actually from my Lithuanian grandfather.
Yeah.
It's a once recessive paternal gene, is my understanding.
Wow, that's amazing.
My anthropology degree.
Oh yeah, it's good to know that stuff here. Ukraine out of Donbass. Look at that. Yeah, look at all these great signs here. So here again, welcome to Chicago. We're here at Union Park. I'm here with Drew. I'm glad he brought an umbrella here, and we're just trying to see how large this. And you know, these things never get started on time. You know, I was
glad for it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I got here. I thought the whole thing started at noon. I thought they just started gathering at 11. And when I got here, we saw right as we were getting off the L. I don't know if you were watching the Chicago Teachers Union.
Yeah.
And a bunch of high school students with signs for all their different high schools. Curry, Inglewood.
As soon as you got off the train,
Alcott,
that was good.
My grandmother was a CTU teacher.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
On the south side. So
that's great. That's awesome. See, education.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder, they might have packed up the Trump baby.
They might have. It might not be portable. Well, and then the second part of this is going to be at Grant Park. So.
Yeah, so they're probably trucking it over there.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you documented. That was so funny. I was trying to counterbalance the comments you were getting. I always anytime somebody.
I can't even pay attention.
That's good.
I just let Chippy Chop Top take care of that.
Anytime somebody does Trump 2028, I say Obama 2028 because I remind people if Trump can run for a third term, so can Obama, and he would fear Obama much more than.
I think he would. Well, whatever happens, I like the. I think that I'm a fan of David Hogg and what he's talking about. We were talking about that with my friend from One Fair Wage. How it's not that you dislike Democrats or anything. It's just that sometimes you got to push people along. Right? You got to push the party along.
Oh yeah, that's
you got to. If that means running people in safe districts, I had a friend that did that. State Senator Rachel Ventura. Her opposition was basically every Democrat in the state endorsed her candidate. She was outraised like 10-1 or something like that fundraising, but she knocks doors like crazy. So she took a safe Democratic seat and now is one of the most progressive state senators in the state.
That's amazing.
Yeah. John Lesh, the new mayor-elect of Aurora, that's another friend of mine. Same thing. Knocks a lot of doors, does the grassroots work.
That's amazing. Well, you're really politically involved. You ran for office yourself.
Yeah, I ran for Joliet Junior College Board. I got 12,000 votes. I wasn't. I wasn't sure what I was doing with that, to be honest with you.
Hey, you gave it a try there.
I am also currently a New Lenox Township Democrat Precinct Committeeman.
There you go.
New Lenox Township Democrats picked up their first township trustee seat in at least 26 years. That's just how long they've been keeping the record. So we don't know how long it's been since the Democrat got elected in New Lenox.
Well, hey, you're breaking new ground. That's amazing. So is New Lenox normally Republican?
Deep red. That's where I grew up. It's my hometown, the home of proud Americans.
Wow.
So yeah, that was what you call a sweet pickup. I've been a part of some wins. It wasn't a huge race. It was like 2,300 votes. But the thing was, we started working on it back in last June.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
The wind's picking up. What happened? It blew there. Oh, okay.
We started on it last June. I knocked, I don't know, thousands of doors. I knocked 400 doors the last week, but then the candidate in that vote also knocked doors for like 3 months straight. Wow. And by the time it was done, we had used a very specific strategy. It's called bullet voting.
Yeah.
And it's a single vote and you don't cast any others, you get a larger percentage.
Wow.
A net vote in New Lenox Township not only got into the top 4, she was the top getter.
That's great. That's amazing.
It was a unique win. I'm going to brag about that for a long time.
Good. You explained it well too. You know, I didn't know. I never heard of bullet voting.
No, it's one of those things. I've been in races where we've tried it. I've never seen it work, but it finally. Well, politics is almost like a sport. You know, it's
it is.
Game. So you learn the tricks. And put them into play. I learned from some of the greats. You know.
You got to learn the dirty tricks, like Nixon.
You stay away from that for reasons. I've seen, you know, because one of the things is that stuff always goes back. It always goes sideways.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, what goes around comes around. You know, you got to respect it. It's actually cheating the people. It's cheating the people because of, you know, and we got to respect, you know, like the outcome of this election. It didn't go our way, but we got to respect it because, you know, and it's hard because, you know, that January 6th, you know.
Well, and I mean, there were a lot of. I don't want to say it's a good thing, but, you know, watching the dog finally catch the car it was chasing, so to speak.
And then now they got to govern, and we're seeing how chaotic it is.
It kind of reminds me of when Bruce Rauner was elected, although we have much less power in the national legislature. But when Bruce Rauner was elected governor, you know, like people said, oh, it's a mandate. And he got in there, and none of the extreme stuff that he tried to push worked.
Hey, look,
Illinois
May the 1st.
Don't want extremes like that.
May the 1st, 65 degrees. There you go. No, Illinois. No. Me too. It was cooler this morning, you know.
By the way, everybody, we're here with Brian Lilly. Check out his TikTok.
Chicago is a union town. Get down! Chicago is a union town.
So we could just walk up and get ahead of this.
Last time I saw Brian, he was absolutely gassed.
Oh, I was.
You had a long day. We were talking about you on the live afterwards. We were like, oh God, he went all over the city that day.
I was glad I saw you, but I was beat. I needed to use the restroom, drink water. So thanks for giving me a break. But it was nice to meet the people.
You were tired, man.
Yeah.
I've been there.
We went to the south side on Sunday. We went to 95th Street Bridge.
I think I saw that.
Yeah. And we went to Pullman. We went to Pullman. All the labor history that happened in Pullman. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Oh, Pullman's great. Yeah.
You want some nice shots.
Where do you say go for nice shots? Yeah. Oh yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. Look at this one. I love the signs. I love the creativity.
I wonder if anybody
YouTube, you're on TikTok. So you got TikTok, you got all the TikTok, and I got all the YouTube, and that's that. Yeah. No, we're not even competing. Yeah. We're on multiple platforms.
Appreciate that.
Oh no, I normally I realize I got to be on multiple platforms in case one goes down. I can switch to another platform because I can film a sign and it can trip the algorithm. You know.
Well, I've got a Facebook and I've got an Instagram, and I've started to. What would be a shame about losing TikTok is all the editing tools that are just in house. Like all the really simple stuff, like taking a screenshot and making it a background. You know, that normally I guess I could do that on an iPhone type thing, but
she's selling candy. That's with the baby. That's amazing. Hey, look at that. Yeah, people buying, selling candy. They're supporting the migrants there. Look at that.
What kind of crowd do you draw on YouTube? Sorry to cut you off.
Oh, that's right.
How big a crowd do you draw on YouTube?
Not as much. If we get like I got 64. That's about typical. It's very hard to break 100 on YouTube. And it's just YouTube doesn't push the live streams, and you know YouTube's for like high quality produced. TikTok pushes the live streams much better.
Yeah, well, really, I mean, when I really began my career, or I don't want to say career, but I guess you could say career as a live streamer at the DNC protest because I saw how many people came out.
I gotta answer some questions here, so I want to talk to you, but I gotta switch between talking to you. So if you just joined, we're on Washington Street here in the West Loop of Chicago, and this is a May Day, May the 1st protest. How would you describe this? This is a pro union.
So May Day is also known as International Workers' Day. It is a traditional workers' holiday all across the world, and so this is an intersectional movement parade that includes. Well, it starts with a base of workers' rights and unions, and then it builds out from there because workers' interests tend to be in everyone's interest, and vice versa.
Oh yeah.
We can't have workers' rights if we don't have the environment we can work in.
There's so many
If people are being deported without cause, we can't have people in unions, right?
There's so many rights that unions fought and died for that we take for granted. Like not just the 8-hour workday, but medical leave, child labor laws, all this stuff, and it started here in Chicago with the Haymarket.
Yes, but in the 1890s, there was a mass strike of workers, and they gathered in the Haymarket Square, and at the end of the presentation, at the end of the speeches, there was a standoff between strikers and then police and strike breakers. At some point, somebody launched a kaboom into the crowd, and all hell broke loose. At the end of the day, 8 men were charged with inciting a riot. A few of them lost their lives, but that also served to kick off the labor movement all throughout the world. And the main fight for that was the 8-hour workday.
8 hours of work, 8 hours of play,
and 8 hours for whatever you want. Live streaming
for free America.
For us, it's live streaming, right? Maybe sleep, right?
Yeah, I know. Have the work.
Today's also the 4th anniversary of when I started organizing at Amazon.
That's right. May the 1st, 2020.
May 1st, 2021. Wow. I went in my old Ask Me Union jacket and handed out literature on workers' rights and a letter from OSHA about Amazon. They threatened to breathalyze me. I said, bring it on. I didn't get breathalyzed, but I would have been happy to. But it was
what was that about?
That was we can get into all of that. At the end of the day, I did go to the old Joliet Ironworks and I made a video on Facebook. And that's kind of how this began.
So start on Facebook. You blew up on the DNC because the
DNC is when I really began my life. Well, I had about 20,000 followers before then, just doing union stuff and Amazon stuff. But the live streams had another element.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Well, because of all the politics I do, I tend to know where the right place at the right time will be for this kind of stuff.
Well, thanks for tipping me off. Other people tip me off about this too, and I appreciate that. I want to get this puppet here. They got
let me know.
I just want to
run up and down. Because that's what people want to see, right? Is they want to see all the signs.
How you doing? Look at that. So here, if you just joined here, we're in Chicago. We're on Washington Street. We're heading to the West Loop. This is a very large, organized, planned protest, permitted. is a really good turnout. This is a really good turnout.
Yeah, for a rainy day.
They're holding on to the rope there to stay all staying together. They're not going to lose anybody, you know. Yeah, I know this won't solve anything, just like a Trump rally won't solve anything. It's just a show of support. That's all it is. It's like rooting for a team, and that's all it is. You know, this is, when somebody's like, this is not going to solve anything. We got to counter the Trump rallies. You know, we got to, that's what this is. It's a show of popular support, you know.
Well, from say a field organizing perspective, this is a good place to recruit and build up your network, right? This is a structure test.
Oh yeah, some of the people you were talking to in Union Park are the organizers, right? Or they're
So this is what you might call a structure test. Is you try to see how many, like a structure test is the type of things you'll do to build up to say a strike.
Yeah.
So if you're in a union, because I was once in a class with that was taught by a lady that ran a teachers union in California, and they eventually went on strike, but it took 30 structure tests, and it started with them just going out in the parking lot and handing out flyers and doing surveys, and it builds up into stuff like this.
Yeah. Oh, okay. People are asking if this is more about unions or deportations, but it's about both, right?
Yeah, it's about all of the above, all under the banner of labor.
Yeah.
Labor and workers are the tie that binds. We're all workers. Yeah. I'm not independently wealthy. You're not independently wealthy. We all got to work.
Yeah. Yep. So again, we're on Washington Street. The wind's picking up. There might be a storm blowing through. Oh man! Look. Well, there might be a storm at 2 o'clock. Look at the wind.
So I have all my gear except for what you see in a Tupperware.
Yeah, that's good.
I came prepared to
That's good. That was smart. That was really smart because But here it is. This is Washington Street. We're at May. We just passed May Street, May in Washington on May the 1st here. There's the May Day protest in Chicago. They're heading down Washington Street. They'll cut over to Jackson. We just passed May Street on May the 1st. May in Washington. And they're going to head down Jackson. They're going to end up at Butler Field and Grant Park. There's supposed to be speakers. Is there any big headline speakers or?
Well, I know there's a whole lot of groups. My buddy from One Fair Wage was saying he's with the international president of SEIU.
Yeah, I saw they were up there. We already ASIU, is up there.
Yeah. Well, and if you see the pink,
or is it SEIU?
Yeah. There's a couple different SEIUs, locals, and everything.
And that stands for
Service Employee International Union.
Yeah.
So things like janitors.
Yeah.
And that kind of maintenance work.
That work for like all these.
Well, people that get treated, you hear about those janitor organizing drives. And some of these employers, it's not even just the money. Yeah, you want more money, but some of these workers just want a little damn respect.
Yeah.
That's all they want.
Sorry I'm missing all the comments here. We're covering the protest here. It's really chaotic. So I'm talking with Drew here, and he started in Union Park here. He was ahead of me, but we're heading with the protest towards Morgan. We'll make a right, and we'll head down to Jackson, and then we'll head into Grant Park. But this is Washington Street here in West Loop of Chicago. 65 degrees. It's pretty warm, yeah. Are we streaming okay? Thanks, Michael, and everybody else. Thanks for the feedback about the stream and stuff. I really appreciate it. Yeah, unity. Look at this. That's why I want to document this. I'm trying to document this. This is important. Document this. The photojournalism, yeah. So here we go. We're catching up. I already passed these, but we'll go. Do you know what this is? Latina, Fusion Latina Chicago. Yeah. Hey, beat the drum here. Planet before profit. Ice only in my lemonade. I love the signs here. Yeah. But here we're turning the corner. Here we made it to Morgan here. So again,
I need to stop for a second.
Okay. Hey, welcome to Chicago. Here's Washington Street here at Morgan, West Loop of Chicago. We got off the train up there. We're gonna make a right there. Drew's fixing the thing there, so we'll go to the corner here. We'll go to the corner and then we'll wait for Drew here. It's really hard for me to hear here, so I'll check out the comments there. Thanks, Ernie, for helping out in the comments. Thanks, Michael, and everybody else. And here we're turning the corner here. Hey, the ruling mob. Keep our families together. We'll wait for Drew here. And Drew's fixing his equipment here. So there are the nice signs there. Here, we'll turn the corner here. Here's Morgan. Look at that. People are on balconies here. Here comes Steve. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that sign. Look at that sign. You see that sign? Look at that. You're back? You're back? That's okay. Hey, I like your hat. I like your hat. That's awesome. That's great.
Hey, what's up?
No. This is a May Day. This is May 1st. This is more a labor union strike. And Chicago has really strong labor unions. May 1st, May Day, which is celebrated internationally, started in Chicago. A lot of Americans don't know that. And I'm here with Drew. A lot of unions are here, but this is also about the deportations, and it's also about against the current administration, some of the other policies, like the tariffs, too.
The tariffs are hitting everybody. The ports are empty.
Yeah. We haven't even felt the impacts yet. The stock market went up 7 days in a row. We don't know what's coming. It's going to hurt. You know, tariffs are attacks. Tariffs are attacks on all of us.
Tariffs are attacks on working people. Yeah. And you know it's a form of abuse because they're blaming the victims. Like, well, we wouldn't do this if you didn't come into this country, or you know. And you could go without a doll, like trying to make people feel bad for, like, I don't know, having too many dolls.
I know. Did you see that comment?
If I had kids, I wanted to have as many friggin' toys as I could. That's the American way. I think anyone in any country wants that for their kids.
Did you see they used a Photoshopped image of the guy's knuckles in Guatemala, and they said it was MS-13 when they Photoshopped it, And I know about Photoshop and stuff. We're here. Welcome to Chicago. We're on Morgan Street here. We're heading through the West Loop. We're at Morgan and Madison. We got traffic still moving here, so let's try to get across here with this bunch of people heading across Madison here. So United Center straight down that way. So where the Bulls and Blackhawks play, straight down that way. This is Madison Street down here, and this is Morgan Street, West Loop of Chicago. Look at this. Look at this. So we're going to catch up with the indigenous Native American dancers here, and there's indigenous people in Mexico too, and that's what we got here. We're here. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Chicago. Here we're on Morgan Street here, West Loop, Chicago. Look at that. How you doing? Great. Yes. How you doing? That's good. See, you got fans, man. That's good.
I've had a couple of people. Yesterday when I was doing some union organizing at Amazon, an Uber driver pulled up and knew my name.
That's great. That is awesome.
He had to tell me what his handle on TikTok is.
Yeah.
Like, if I didn't know you as Brian.
let's go up to the. Let's see if we get to the front. That would be awesome. Yeah.
And people are like, "What's up with the?" If you've ever done, I've done a lot of parades.
Yeah.
There's always these gaps.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They just happen
Because now we're crossing streets that have other traffic waiting there. But here again, welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Morgan Street, West Loop of Chicago. We got about 65 degrees. This is a May Day, May the 1st march. It's mainly pro-union, but it's also anti-Trump and anti-current administration. It's more, against the handling of the migration, the migrants, and deportations, and it's also against the tariffs and other policies. But it's mainly May the 1st, May Day. It's a labor rights movement, and all these groups associated with it. And the guy I'm walking with, his name's Drew. He's on TikTok right here. So if you want to watch on TikTok, Drew, you're going to continue to cover it in Grant Park when they're speaking.
I will be here all day, so I'm prepared to go until whatever 2 p.m. and then, I always like hanging out in the city afterwards.
Yeah, that's great.
It's my day off. I don't have anything to do until later in the day tomorrow,
so I'll go back.
I actually want to go try a place called Bodega.
Oh, good. Yeah, check it out.
It just got in my head. I saw a faux French dip.
Yeah.
And it sounded damn good. It sounded like a damn good sandwich.
What's it called?
Like a faux French dip or a faux.
Oh, French dip. Yeah.
Like an Italian beef.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like
faux broth.
It's got the au jus sauce.
Yeah. Oh, my voice already went today.
Yeah. It's hard. You don't realize how loud it is, how many decibels this is.
No.
Yeah, so you have to talk over it. But yeah, I'll have to break off once we get back to Grant Park.
I figured you got to go back to work or whatever you got to do. But it's cool we got a team up.
Oh yeah, I'm glad I ran into you.
We're talking about this, right? We're going to start doing more team up. And also, I reached out to Streetwalking girl and Nick
Koiken,
yeah.
I'm still not for sure if I'm saying his name right. Some people say Kukin, some people say Koiken. I got to ask him. I ran into him once, but only briefly,
Yeah, I like his content.
Yeah.
So I messaged him. I don't know if he'll come out. But
yeah. They got stuff to do.
Right,
Jay was riding Jay would probably cover this, but she probably doesn't like the crowds. She was riding the L, But look at that pinata there. I want to catch that pinata. We'll head towards the front here. But again, if you just joined here, we're on Morgan Street here, and we'll walk into the loop here, and if you still want to watch, Drew will be covering the Grant Park on YouTube, TikTok, and go ahead. Okay, sorry, good.
Yeah, Drew, DREDUZIN, Dr. Dre Duzin.
Dr. Dre Duzin.
It's a prank on Amazon. That's my Amazon ID or whatever.
That's great. Yeah, Dr. Dre Duzin.
The whole channel was just supposed to be a joke on Amazon.
Yeah.
It just got way out of control.
Yeah, that's these things have to take a life of their own. Yeah.
Like the whole reason I do news in front of a stop sign is because when I first started organizing, they wrote me up for slow rolling through a stop sign.
Oh no.
That's how you know they want you. They're watching your traffic in the parking lot.
Or try to give you a breathalyzer.
Right, breathalyzer. Like, no, I'm not intoxicated.
So here, look how organized this is. They got the rope, everybody's staying inside, and we're the working press here, so.
Yeah, basically.
Where's your press pass?
They're not too strict. I mean, if you've got a...
No.
I mean, I was at the DNC protest. I was like moving around. I almost got caught in the kettle a few times, but there were such solid. When the police blocked off an area for that, you were stuck.
Yep. So see, they got the streets blocked off. This is Jackson looking west. This is Morgan looking south. UIC's that way, Little Italy. This is the West Loop. There's the Sears Tower. So we're going to head straight towards the Sears Tower. We'll follow with them, and we'll follow with the protest here. They're turning the corner here from Morgan to Jackson. The other media here, WLS. Yeah. There's ice cubes. So look at this view, looking down Jackson Boulevard, Jackson Street here in the West Loop of Chicago. We're heading towards the loop here where this is going to go straight west, no, straight east for about a mile. And it's going to go all the way to Grant Park to the lake.
Oh, there's a great shot of the
Yeah.
tower in there.
Look at that. And this tower is great too. That used to be a garment, like a type of garment district we're walking through. You know, this used to be a garment district right here in the old
Really?
days.
I
Yeah,
did not know that.
that's what that clock tower is. Yeah, I think they made like women's like girdles and stuff.
Shirt waists, like triangle shirt
Yeah,
waists.
yeah, like that. Yeah.
Did you see there was a giant fire across the street from where I worked?
Oh yeah. How did that turn out? I saw it.
I am still waiting to find out. I haven't been able to look it up. There was a firefighter injured. It took something like 80 firefighters to put it out.
Oh man.
It was at a machinist shop. That's an IKEA is a machinist shop.
Wow.
The IAM organized. I'm working with the same guy that organized IKEA. I'm working with.
Wow. So you just happened to catch that, or they notified you?
I walked out at lunch, and it was just there.
Wow. I saw that video. Yeah.
I make the joke that I'm like Moses. I'm bruises.
Yeah.
I came outside and I saw a warehouse on fire. And I saw the light, and the light is the union.
Yeah. Wow. That's great.
So hopefully nobody got hurt at IKEA.
No.
You know, the safety protocols are probably better than Amazon because they have a union.
Yeah.
None of the managers at IKEA were like, hey, go to a lunchroom.
Yeah. Look at this. ADA accessibility. That's part of this too. They're cutting back all these programs that people fought for.
There's one.
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, how you doing? I remember. Yeah.
By the way, Brian, that's Richard Rodriguez.
Yeah, that's good. How you doing? That's good. Yeah.
That's the National Policy Director for One Fair Wage.
Great.
He's helping run the operations here and all across the country to raise the sub-minimum wage for tip workers.
That's awesome. I saw you interview him. That's great. We caught up with him here. He's at the front of the... So again, we're on Jackson Street there. This is the May 1st protests in Chicago. These are happening all across the nation. There's some version of this in most major cities, but we got one of the largest ones here in Chicago. And it wasn't like this last year, was it?
I wasn't here last year.
Yeah, I wasn't here last year either.
I didn't start live streaming like these types of events until the DNC protest.
Yeah.
And the protest, that march was something else.
Oh, yeah.
Down Lake Street, that was...
I walked through the police line. The police were lined up, and I walked in. I came the other way. They went the other way. They went around the United Center.
Yeah, they seem a little less nervous about this crowd than they did about that crowd.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, the one downtown the next day was bad. They did pick a fight with the police. There was a second protest, and I didn't... Some people filming it got arrested.
I saw a bunch of crazy stuff. They were like right-wing conservative. There was one guy that was there from Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah.
So there were all sorts of back and forth with different people. That was.
Yeah. But look at this. Look at this crowd. Look at this. This goes all the way back, probably to Washington Street up Morgan. This is Jackson, West Loop of Chicago. Look at that. Yeah, Anne Frank, we won't forget, you know. So here's the front of it, yeah.
Yeah, so this is the front.
How do we get on that truck?
Yeah, go ask them. They might,
Yeah.
you never know. They seem cool.
Union strong, yeah. So again, yeah, Jackson Boulevard here, West Loop of Chicago. Thanks for tuning in here. We got to 105. I'm probably going a little longer than usual today because I got to walk back. I got caught up here. We made up with Drew here. And Drew will be, follow him on TikTok. He'll be covering it when I break off and I got to head back to work. But I got to head back this way anyway. And so we'll head back to work here. Got to go back to work on May Day. So what a bummer. Here, I want to get in front. I want to film the front of this. So when we started, we caught the front of this before we met up with Drew. Here it is. Here's the front of the May 1st. Look at that. Let me lift up the stick here. It's looking back on Jackson Boulevard, all the way back to Morgan. Look at the size of this crowd. Here's the media. The police are clearing the way here. So we'll mosey along here.
I was wanting to just set up on the river and watch everybody walk by.
Yeah.
Maybe take a little breather, you know?
That's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good.
I got my stand and
You need to set up a tripod, yeah.
yeah, that's why I got it.
Yeah. Then you could actually like do like a report, you know, yeah.
Right.
Here's the police. Let's see the police presence here.
We are in Chicago, Illinois at a non-paid protest.
Aquí estamos y no nos vamos. Aquí estamos y no nos vamos.
So this is Halstead Street. This is the heart of Greektown. How you doing? And here, Mr. Greek Heroes. There's the Athenian Cattle Company right here. Look at that. See, you got the statues here at Greektown. And there's the Greek Hellenic Museum of Greek Culture. It's right there. Here's the media truck. And here's the beginning of the May Day, May 1st protest here. We walk from the back end to the front end. We're going to go up ahead here so Drew can set up shop. Right there. Yeah, that might be a good spot up there. Yeah, this is a rally here. There we go.
Que con la sangre de sus hombres dieron gloria a una raza de puro corazón. Soy mexicano y de esta tierra hermano, y con orgullo festejo en esta vez. Voy con mi historia como un digno regalo, mi gran herencia que se me dio al nacer. Viva Cuauhtémoc, Juárez y Zaragoza, Hidalgo, Villa, Zapata y Madero, vivan por siempre grabados en mi mente. Soy un guerrero aquí presente. Donde esté un mexicano, allí está México, que con amor le canta el tricolor, que con la sangre de sus hombres dieron gloria a una raza que es magia y corazón. A las gigantes se agitan en el norte, águilas reales que en estos cielos vuelan, que con sus garras atrapan mis sueños y van al surco de mi tierra a sembrarlas. Soy mexicano y de esta tierra hermano. Donde esté el mexicano, allí está México. De aquí Chicago, aquí estamos. Este es México del Norte. Aquí estamos los mexicanos. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
So if you just joined here, we're in Chicago. There's the Sears Tower here. We're crossing the near the Jane Byrne interchange here, where the Kennedy Expressway starts, and that goes down to the Dan Ryan and the Eisenhower. And see, there's a big thunderhead there. This is the West Loop. We just walked through Greektown. Here's some of the high-rise condo buildings. The guy just gave a very rousing song there. It's the beginning of the May Day, May 1st protest here in Chicago. This is heading to Grant Park. This is heading to Grant Park for, they're going to have more speeches and stuff there. And I lost Drew. Drew probably went ahead here to set up his tripod. He's going to try to film the parade from one end to the other. I got to head back to work, so I'm going to probably have to leave at this point. But we'll let me see if I can find Drew and say goodbye to Drew, and then we'll start heading back to work here.
Aquí estamos y no nos vamos. Aquí estamos y no nos vamos.
tuning in, everybody. I really appreciate everybody for checking us out. Either whether you support it or not, you know, this is free speech just to cover it. And when have Americans ever agreed about anything? I've lost Drew, but so I'm going to head back to work. If you guys talk to Drew or watch his live on TikTok covering the rest of this, tell him I really appreciate that he talked with us, and we'll try to catch him later. And here's the beginning of the organized, permitted march here. We're crossing the expressway there. Hey, look, people on the interstate are honking in solidarity here. And right here, Jackson, I live in Oak Park. Look at the drone. There's a drone there. Okay, so I'm going to head back to work here. I'm going to quickly walk through the loop here, and we'll leave this protest. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I hopped on the green line and caught it because I saw it took a while for it to get started, and I wanted to document it as it walked through the West Loop. It's going to go straight down Jackson where we're walking. It'll be easy for me just to walk down the street because the police are clearing out the street ahead of us, so I'll probably make some quick progress heading back to the loop here, and we'll just head back to work here. So you've been watching this whole time, even though you can't. This is driving you nuts. I'm amazed you have the, you know, you're more tolerant than I am. That's amazing. Thanks for tuning in. I realize not everybody. You know, I was trying to. You see, I get excited by all this stuff. I guess I didn't really cover it that neutrally, but. You know, I respect people's, you know, you don't have to agree with my opinions. I don't expect that, but I just want to cover this because it's May Day. Look at that. Look at this. It's a newsworthy event. This will surely be on the news. And since I cover Chicago, it was great to talk with Drew there. And Drew will be covering the rest of it there. These people are waiting for the protester. There'll be people probably coming out of the office towers to see this as it goes through. Thanks, Teresa. Thanks, everybody there. Yeah, Terry, he's on. Terry, you know Drew there. Yeah, that guy can talk. He's the only guy that can talk more than me. Every once in a while I had to I'm like, I need a station break because I need to answer some of the questions. People are like, what is this? What's this protest about? And originally the noise, the decibel levels, like I gotta stop talking so loud because I was having to talk so loud to talk over the crowd and all the drumming and the noise and everything. But hey, this would be a nice walk here. You know, I know I'm extending my lunch break here. Trust me, I'll make up the hours. You don't have to worry about that. So we're on Jackson Boulevard here in Chicago. Look how they added extra stories to this building. They do that, and if it's structurally capable, they can add extra stories, steel frame construction. This is the Sears Tower. We're crossing Jefferson here, and it's going to be easy to walk down the street because they got it all blocked off for this organized May 1st protest here. Hey, Lou Mitchell's. Lou Mitchell's, this great restaurant here. We're on Jackson, just east of Jefferson here. Lou Mitchell's Restaurant and Bakery. If you ever have a chance to check this out here in Chicago, it's coffee, this great bakery here. Lou Mitchell's, this iconic place here. And then you can see this sign here. How you doing? And you see how close it is to the Sears Tower, so you can find it just west of the Sears Tower here on Jackson Boulevard here, West Loop of Chicago. Look how they put balconies. There's balconies inside those windows. And they set back they converted these to loft housing. And the West Loop has a lot of that. You seen videos of that place? Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Wes, and everybody else for supporting. I know, anytime you cover something like this, you're going to get the full range of spectrums from the left to the right. You should have saw some of the comments that Drew was getting on TikTok. And it's best to just let them slide. You know, any engagement, negative or positive, people are just exercising their First Amendment free speech right to weigh in on what they think about it. And thanks to my mods for keeping everything civil. Just don't attack each other personally. People can vent and express their frustrations or pro or against. try to have a point. Here's crossing this Canal Street. Yeah, Canal Street. No. This is there's no sign here. Oops, sorry. See, we're by the Union Transit Center here, and we're almost to Canal Street. Here's Union Station. Hey, let's head through Union Station, because since I'm over here, yeah, we can walk right through Union Station, and we'll pop out the other side here. Take care, Christopher. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. I know people got other stuff to do. There's people heading to the protest there. That's great. So probably more people will join in once they get to Grant Park. But here's Union Station. You get to Amtrak trains, and you can get to Metro trains here. Union Station's the largest station in Chicago. Ogilvy's the second largest. And here, look at this wonderful view you get of the main waiting area here. They just restored this, or yeah, they changed. They did something to the bottom there. They cleared it all out. Christmas time, this was still kind of being under construction, but now it's all back open. Historic Union Station here, Chicago, Illinois. And if it looks familiar, they use this in The Untouchables for the baby carriage scene where, you know, Andy Garcia and Kevin Costner there, famous baby carriage scene there in The Untouchables. And in that movie, Al Pacino plays Al Capone. So I'll stay out here. Hold on, I'll get your comments here in a second. Let me get down the stairs here. So it's really warm. I'm overdressed just like Drew. It turned out to be a really warm day. And here, here comes the, look at the size of this crowd here heading up Jackson Boulevard. See, we were just in that. Look at that. That's the May Day protest here in Chicago, May the 1st, 2025. Yeah, just another Thursday. There's the Sears Tower. So here we got 118. I'm streaming longer than I usually do. See, look, there's people. There, nice signs there. There's people. Solidarity here. People are supporting from the sidewalks. You don't have to march. You could just stand on the sidelines and support other ways, or not support, or protest against the protesters. See, they're working on Canal Street. There's a street below this, and actually there's the train tracks. Look how you can look down. And you can look right down into, there's where you catch the Metro trains and the Amtrak trains down below. That's actually the ground. And see how the raised streets of Chicago, there's a street underneath here, underneath Canal Street. This is historic Route 66. Actually, it's Adams, but they count this because Adams becomes one way and Jackson becomes the one way back. So we're on the historic Route 66. So this protest is going right on Route 66. And you can look back. Look at that. Let's zoom in on this crowd here. Look at the size of that crowd. It goes all the way back to Morgan. It fills the entire street there of Jackson. We walk through there. I know it's windy. Picking up. Oh, you lost your hat. You got it again. The hats are blowing off. There you do. And here we'll head back. We'll head back into the loop of Chicago here. Little toasted. Hey, we got some media here. Police. Hey, thanks. I'd like to order another one Big Mac. Thanks for tuning in there. Betty, thanks for tuning in. And yeah, that's one constant positive comment we get here in Chicago, is that people are surprised by how clean our streets are. And yeah, let's just head back. I'll walk straight down here because they're clearing out the street for me. I want to see how many people are coming out here to support the protesters. See the upside down American flag? Isn't that amazing? When we were in Texas, people were flying the upside flag to to protest the Biden administration, and now people are flying the upside down American flag to protest the Trump administration. And we've covered both of them. Anti-Elon Musk, anti-Trump, that's people asking what the protest is about. And it means different things to different people. You know. Hey, there's the Board of Trade there. Sari statue. Hey, D. Michael, Krista. Hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. Yeah, Michael, thanks for, I'm glad you saw this. Ernie, thanks for the songs there. Yeah. So you guys all know Drew. You know, I know Tara. If you guys want to watch when it gets to Butler Field and Grant Park, he says he's going to be covering it all day. So he's got his backup battery. He's all prepared. He's even prepared there. See, what I'm worried about is there's thunderstorms in the area. And I saw on my weather app around 2 o'clock, right when there's supposed to be speakers at Butler Field and Grant Park for this march that's going through here, there might be some storms coming through. And I see big thunderheads. So I'm going to head back to the office. Here we're underneath. Oops. Oh, crap. Here we're underneath. There's a helicopter. We're underneath the Sears Tower here. And get the full height of it here. We're right in the middle of the street here. How often do you get to walk right in the middle of Wacker Drive and film the full height of the Sears Tower here? Here we'll go by the sky deck. And there's 311 South Wacker. Look at this nice mural here. Look at that. We got a steady wind, so I know it's hard to hear with the wind, but welcome to the Windy City. My voice is kind of hoarse here. Yeah, see, that's God's way of punishing us. God's way of punishing the protesters. He's making a lightning storm come to us. And the wind's picking up. Let's go check out these whirly gigs. There's some nice whirly gigs by the 311 South Wacker building. Of course, there's a food court there. I bet the security is really tight. They want to protect the Sears Tower. This march is going to walk right past the Sears Tower. But look at these whirly gigs. They got all these little mobiles and things that look nice in the wind, and it's a beautiful day to have these things spinning around because there's a lot of wind today. So here at 311 South Wacker building, that's where we're at. Here we're at Jackson Boulevard and Franklin Street, Chicago here. So, does anybody know of anybody else besides Drew that's covering it? I don't know of any. Jay was live streaming at once, but she was just taking the trains. And Jay, understandably, I understand she doesn't like filming in the crowds. But she might cover it once it gets to the park. I don't know. Drew's going to cover it. You'll have to just search. I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know if Vicky or Edwin or Ernesto, do you know of anybody else that's covering this? I don't know if Nick. Drew reached out to Nick. I don't know if Keys or Nia might cover it. I don't know. I'll check when I get back to the office if I see anybody else. It's hard for me to do when I'm streaming myself here. And especially I'm on a different platform. I'm not on TikTok. I'm on YouTube right now. But look, the streets are empty. You get to walk right down the middle of the street here. This is great. It's like the last day here, last days. We're walking right down the middle of the street. There comes the truck coming out here. Teresa, search on TikTok. Okay, good. Thanks, Michael. Teresa, okay. Thank you. Thanks for the good. Here goes the orange line. And I'll tell you what. I'm going to take the train. I'm going to take the train to get back to work. I'm going to ride the next train that comes around here. I wish I could have caught this orange line. Well, actually, I can't because not all the lines. I should have caught this orange line. If I could have caught this orange line, I'll just head up LaSalle here. We'll just keep heading this way. I was going to take the train, but I realized the next train is probably going to be a pink or a green line that isn't going to go that way. No, the green doesn't even go on this side. Only the pink and the purple and the orange. And I just missed the orange. You saw live streamers speaking in Spanish was the protest. Yeah, I'm sure there's other people covering it, so you'll just have to use your thanks Ernie for the good information. I'm sure you'll just have to use your TikTok app to find out. You can do a search there for Chicago streamers, and it might pop up there. Nick Koiken, yeah, that's good. Is he covering it? Drew Drzezinski, his handle is at DR, like doctor, DRU, Dr. Drew. Oh, actually, I spelled DREW, Dr. Drew. Well, no, it's Dr. No, it's Dr. Dre Drew. So DRDRAE, like Dr. Dre, but then you put a Drew after it. You run all that together. That's his handle. And if you can't find it, I'm sorry. I can't hold everybody's hand here. And I know it's impossible to find anything on TikTok. Believe me, I understand. Here's the Rookery building. We'll head up LaSalle Street here. I got to remember there's traffic on the streets now here too. And now at least it's not as windy. And we're at Quincy Street and LaSalle here, loop of Chicago. There's the porch right there. And look, it's a nice view to the Sears Tower here. And there's the Rookery building. Look at that. If I didn't have to rush back to work, we could show you the inside, but we got so many reruns. And yeah, you've seen videos of that place. It's beautiful. Frank Lloyd Wright redesigned the interior and another architect. And this was designed 1886 by Burnham and Root. John Wellborn Root. We walk past his house there in the Gold Coast on Astor Street sometimes. This is the Rookery building. You've ever seen What Women Want? They used that in that movie. It came out in 2000 with Helen Hunt. And this is the LaSalle State Bank. This used to be where the home insurance company was. This is where the first skyscraper by William LeBaron Jennings was. And they tore it down to build this building in like the 1920s, late 1920s. And there's the Sears Tower, LaSalle Street, loop of Chicago. Yeah, we're a bunch of ants in the city here. We're in the freezer. Hey, Christopher, thanks for tuning in there. Ernie, thanks for all the help there. And Michael, Teresa there. Yeah, Betty. There it is, Drew D. Duzinskas. Thank you so much, Betty. Thanks for putting that on there. Oh, the comments are brutal because I don't think Drew has many moderators, if any. And I think he does, but it doesn't matter. You know, he's gonna attract all that, you know, negativity, and he doesn't even look at it. He just lets it roll, and he just talks. He talks over it all, and that's good for him. Drew's very involved in the unions. He's trying to organize unions against Amazon, and that's how he got involved in all this. And that's why he's down here on May 1st for the May Day protest there. We covered it there. And I'm heading back to work here on a Thursday. We're walking through LaSalle Street. Hey, there you go. But look at this great view you get back to the, let's get out in the street here. Well, actually, we'll cross here and then we'll cross across. Northern Trust, the attic floors of this building here. We're at LaSalle and Monroe, loop of Chicago. There's the L trains on Wabash there. Bank of India, that white building. Look at these commercial buildings. This all used to be the financial district here, the BMO Tower. Here, we'll cross here. This is Board of Trade here. Look how nice that looks, looking straight down LaSalle. If you ever seen The Untouchables or Public Enemies, the Batman movies, they use that. There's several scenes where they use that exact scene right there. That's Board of Trade in the backdrop there. Yeah, Chippy's a mod for Drew. You're right. I know Drew has mods. I don't know if Chippy was on today or not. I bet he was. Chippy's great. He watches me and he watches Drew. I appreciate that. And yeah, Drew has some mods. Anybody that streams, you eventually need mods. You know, once you get any audience, even Jay does, and Jennifer, Nick and Jennifer help each other out. Nick helps out Ken's, and you know, appreciate everybody helping me out too. bringing the fashion. But I just wanted to document that. How often does some protest that large happen for anything? You know, and there's probably going to be many more. Remember this winter we saw something at the Federal Plaza. We covered that. I'd rather do it on YouTube because I'm worried that if I do it on TikTok, like what Drew was doing, some of those signs might trigger the algorithm because they're pretty in your face, you know. Here, let's check out this construction here on Clark Street. It's going to get loud. They're doing construction on Clark Street. You can look down into the lower levels of the street here, and the vaulted sidewalks. There's vaulted sidewalks all throughout the loop, and you get to see the underbelly of the streets here on Clark Street. We're north of Monroe here, loop of Chicago. Thanks for tuning in. Site here on Clark Street, 8 South Clark Street. We're just south of Madison here, Madison and Clark, part of the loop of Chicago. That loud construction noise there. Hey, anarchy! Oops. Clark and Madison. Yeah, let's cross the street here. There we go. So here, let's head up to Daily Plaza just to see if Daily Plaza is probably a ghost town. I don't think there's much going on there. But here's Clark and Madison. That's what we just crossed here. Yeah, see you, Julie, Krista, Desiree. Yeah, Kaylin, how you doing there? Muhammad. Malaysia, how you doing there? Yeah, 2:33 in the AM. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Chicago. Buenos Aires, Alexander, how you doing there? People tuning in from all over the world. Thank you. Yeah, Julie's got to go back to work. I'm right there with you. I took a much longer lunchtime than I anticipated. I got caught up in that crowd there, and we ran into Drew there. So thanks everybody. I know my connection probably cut out a little bit there. Drew's was really cutting out when he was in Union Park. Anytime you get with the crowds like that, it's hard for the cell towers to compensate. Here's this coin. Look at this. Egyptian stuff. They got ancient antiquaries here. They got this stuff from Mesopotamia. Spearheads. They got all this ancient. Look at these rings, bracelet, bowls. They're from 1,000 years before the birth of Christ. All this stuff here. They got rings. They got ancient clay tablets here. This is the, here, I'll show you what this is. All these rare coins here. I'll show you what this is here. This is the Harlan J. Burke Limited Rare Coins, 31 North Clark. They got all these coins in the window. You can just walk down Clark Street and check out all this stuff. All this stuff, Roman Greek coins, $12 each. You can get Greek and Roman coins here for $12 to make great gifts. Give somebody a real piece of history here. And this is the Chicago Temple, the First United Methodist Church, the tallest church in the United States. Rivals the cathedral in Cologne, Germany there, which is really tall. And so here we'll walk through Daily Plaza. Here's City Hall, Clark Street, and yeah, we'll head this way because nothing's going on at Daily Plaza. So let's go through the link station here. I'll show you what this link station looks like. So here's Daily Plaza. There's the Picasso fountains on. There's the that used to be the Thompson Center State of Illinois building. Now it's going to be Google. Google's renovated. They're replacing the curtain wall. This is City Hall of Chicago, the Cook County building. This is Washington Street, Daily Plaza. There's the courthouse for this Cook County. And there's Channel 2 News there. And we're on this link station here. You can catch this to get to the Metro terminals, like Union Station and Ogilvy. That we were just at Union Station there. But there's the Picasso. There's the Picasso sculpture on Daly Plaza. Pablo Picasso. And here, Cook County office building here. They got a lot of Cook County offices here. And we'll head back to Dearborn here. We'll go over to State Street. State Street has tulips. We'll check out briefly the tulips on State Street. And we'll head up past the Chicago Theater. I'm heading back to work here from the West Loop May Day protest going on. They're going to go to Grant Park. I got to go back to work. So here, let's run across the street here before the light changes. Oh, there's another car there. Man. I'm always rushing to get across the street. Don't want to wait for the light. Yeah, there's a Walgreens on State Street, yeah. The Sears store is gone, but there's a Walgreens store at State and Randolph. And I think there's another one further down. But some of them have closed down. Some of the McDonald's have closed down in the loop. The southern part of State Street is much more vacant than it used to be. But here, there's where Channel 2 News. Here, they're having something right there. They're having a potluck there in the lobby. Morningstar Investments here. There's a food court there called the Food Hall, Washington Hall. Look at that beautiful facade there. And this building is called the Reliance Building. No. Yeah, the Reliance Building here at the Atwood restaurant there. They got the Pineapple Hotel here. And this is one of the first steel frame construction skyscrapers in the loop of Chicago here. Goes back to the 1890s. Is it Reliant or Reliance? I can't remember. It's on the front here. I can't remember. There's the primary. There's the Muddy Waters mural right there. Muddy Waters mural here in Chicago. Here's State Street. So we'll head across so we can film the tulips here. So here we're at State Street and Washington, loop of Chicago. See the Chicago Theater's there. We're gonna head up that way. This is South State Street. And Marshall Field, the clock here. It used to be, now it's Macy's, used to be Marshall Field and Company. And here, let's check out these tulips. Yeah, the Reliance Building, Reliance with the C. So there's the tulips. We'll tiptoe through the tulips here. Yeah, they're filming them there too. Look at that. Very cool. Very cool. So here, we'll head straight up to the Chicago Theater here. Look at that backdrop we got. Yeah. Beautiful tulips here on State Street. Here's the Red Line subway exit here. Look at that view. Let's look at the flags there. Yeah, the iconic clock there. There you can see the whole thing right there. Look at that view. Thanks for staying on for so long here. Yeah, very cool. So here we'll go past the Walgreens in the next block. We'll go by the Chicago Theater. Block 37's on our left. And I'm just focusing straight ahead here for once, not moving the camera around. So I originally grew up in Southeast Indiana. I moved to Chicago in 1999. You gotta imagine how often I have to say that. We usually get asked that 6 times a day, which is fine. And good question. I moved to Chicago and I've lived here over half my life. I'm not a native Chicagoan, nor have I never claimed to be. I grew up in the country. I'm a farm boy that moved to the city. So I got that perspective. And that's why I can, you know, give you an overview of the city from, you know, someone that wasn't born here. And here's the Nederlander Theater there. And we're waiting to cross the street here at State Street. Block 37. There we got the light here. So we'll head across here. Here's the Walgreens. So here's the Walgreens on State Street. There's the bike lane here. Hey, taking a picture in front of the iconic Chicago Theater there. Look at that. There you go. There, Lucy Dacus. Forever is a Feeling. May 1st and 2nd. Sold out. Happy May Day. May 1st. There's the Gene Siskel Film Center across the way. The iconic Chicago Theater, the Marina Towers. Look at that. How you doing? Hey, I'm on YouTube. How you doing there? That's great. Appreciate it. Thanks for saying hello. So, yeah, if you missed the beginning part, the good thing about YouTube, you can watch the full live stream. You could rewind it or watch it from the beginning. Go to the live tab on my page, your Brian Riley Chicago on YouTube. You can watch from the beginning to the end. You can watch the full live stream. That's why I do this on YouTube, because I know not everybody's available to tune in live all the time. And we'll head right through here. We'll go over to Lake Street. How you doing? Appreciate it. Thank you. So, yeah, I'm on YouTube. I was covering the protest, and I came back. They're going to Grant Park. There's a huge protest coming down Jackson for May Day against Trump. It's like 20,000. It's like 2,000 people. So here, the Torture Museum. I was exaggerating. I would say that was about 2,000 people in that crowd at least. Maybe more. Maybe 3,000. It was a pretty big crowd. What would you estimate the size of that crowd was? The people, we walked from one end to the other. Here's Lake Street. We made it back under the L tracks here. There's all the train lines you can catch here. Great Lake Station. There's where we started. There's the L train moving through there. CTA train there, the orange line heading around the loop here. Yeah, I'm headed back to work. Honk Bonk, I'm heading back to work. This was a much longer than usual live stream. Thanks everybody. If you want to watch the beginning when we covered the protest and I was interviewing Drew there, you could rewind this, watch it from the beginning, stop, pause, rewind. I'll cut out clips and we'll transfer. Here comes the green line heading around the bend here. There's the Prudential building. So again, yeah, thanks for everybody putting up Drew's information there. Drew is currently live streaming the protest on TikTok, so I'm going to end this when I get to Michigan Avenue. If you want to continue to watch the protest activity, here's the Trump Tower. You can watch Drew's live stream on TikTok, Drew D. Duzinskis, and I'll be back probably a little after 5 tonight. I might work a little later tonight, and we'll head home. And we'll talk more about it tonight on TikTok, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully, there's storms in the area. We'll see what the weather does. I'm gonna head back to work, head back to the office, and so we'll catch you later. Thousands. So it's more than 1,000. Yeah, I agree with that. Thanks, Michael. Thanks, Honk Bonk. Yeah. Well, yeah, I did it yesterday to cover the sailboats, and that's on. You can watch that full rerun yesterday, and I'm still working to cut out clips. I'm still catching. There's still clips from Sunday. I still have things I have to cut. I haven't even gotten to the climbing wall that Chris and I went to on Sunday. Chris's pedometer on his phone said we did 16,000 steps on Sunday. I think we probably did 20,000 steps, which is a typical day for me. I hope I didn't wear Chris out. He was a trooper. Chris recovered from open heart surgery. Chris had open heart surgery, and look how good he was. He's in great shape. He said he felt great, and his physical therapy paid off because he did it. And it's hard to do. Anybody has to go through that, I know. Because my dad had to go through it with his knee surgery, and my mom had to go through it with her cancer. So here, we'll cross Michigan Avenue. We'll sign off. If you want to watch any of this, go to the live tab on YouTube, Brian Riley Chicago, and you can watch the full rerun there. We'll run to get across the street here. And thank you. Here's the Wrigley building. Here's Nando's and Nutella's. So we'll see you after 5 o'clock on TikTok. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Happy May Day. 65 degrees. May the 1st, 2025. Thanks, Michael. And thanks, Ernesto, and everybody else. Anita and everybody else. I really appreciate it. See you, Sharon, Lambie T, Michael, Ernie. We'll talk to you later. Terrell, okay. Thanks a lot.